Greetings, agents. This is Private Boulders, the mediocre gamer, and this is the Division 2. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my content. It really helps me out. If you do find my content useful or helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. I hope you're doing well today. I just wanted to drop a quick video on the 5 times XP event that is coming up. So I just thought I would do a video on maybe some pointers or just some useful tips that may help you maximize your productivity during this event. Obviously, this only applies if you're level 40 and above. If you're below level 40, then keep grinding, agents. Maybe there'll be a next time for this event. I'm sure that they will. They've done it in the past. But just wanted to go through cover a couple of things that you might find useful. So first of all, what difficulty should you tackle this on? I guess there's no right or wrong answer. Most people will default to heroic because that is what offers the most XP. If your current build is comfortable with heroic, you have no problems clearing heroic content, then obviously go for that. If you find that you're dying a lot on heroic, then obviously challenging is the way to go. I did a little experiment recently on the difference between challenging and heroic. So I equipped just my standard striker build, and I did open world activities for 1 hour. No directives, no global modifiers or anything. Just running around the place doing open world activities. I didn't actually do control points. I just focused on mainly public executions, propaganda broadcasts, territory controls. I stumbled across the odd elite resource convoys, elite patrols now and then, but I just mainly did those types of open world activities. And on heroic, in 1 hour I did 7 shade levels, and on challenging I did 8 shade levels. So not not a huge amount of difference. I mean, make of that what you will. But I was kind of surprised that I actually did more shade levels on challenging than I did on heroic. I did die more times on heroic. That just kind of goes. That's kind of just par for the course with me. So I didn't stop the clock whenever I died. So that respawning back at a safe house and then running back to the next activity. That I didn't stop the clock, so to speak. So all that time, extra time spent respawning and then running back to where I was, or running to the closest activity, that is all kind of factored into that calculation. So the enemies are a little bit easier on challenging. Obviously, you don't kind of you don't get that additional XP from challenging and heroic, but I just thought that was interesting. I just thought I'd make mention of that. So it's pretty close, like 1 SHD level. For me, that's not too bad. I mean, your mileage may vary. You might be able to do more shade levels on heroic than challenging, but bear that in mind. I felt that I was more productive on challenging. I was getting through activities faster, just because the the enemies aren't as tough on challenging as they are on heroic. So that's something to consider about what world difficulty you set it to. So the next thing I would recommend would be to reset your control points. So once you've decided whether you're going to go heroic and challenging, reset your control points, because there will be a lot more open world activities available. And I guess that's the next thing is, try and I find that you can make more XP by doing open world activities rather than missions and so forth. So just bear that in mind. Go for open world activities rather than missions. The next thing is empty your pockets. So what I mean by that is, clear out your inventory. Make sure you have as much free space as possible, so that when you're picking up loot, you can just quickly run on to the next activity, complete that one, pick up your loot, and keep going, so that you're not stopping as often to clear out your inventory or deconstruct gear or favorite gear, or go back to the base of operations and put stuff into your stash and so forth. So just bear that in mind. What build? Well, I'm not going to recommend a build. Go with whatever you are comfortable with. So if you're more comfortable with Striker, go with Striker. If you're more comfortable with a skill build with drone and turret, go with that. It's going to be whatever you're more comfortable and more familiar with, because I believe that you'll be more productive. This isn't probably the time to start a new build or try out a new build, because you're not going to be familiar with it. You may waste time getting used to it, and you might die a bit more. So just go with whatever you're more comfortable with, and I think you'll find you'll be doing really well. As I mentioned, activities. Go with open world activities. If we have a look at this open world activity XP chart that I did up, we've got differences there with challenging and heroic. I've highlighted public execution and propaganda broadcast. So they give decent XP for the amount of time that you spend on them. Bearing in mind these figures here that I've got are for XP kills, for XP only, and don't include the NPCs that you kill from completing these activities. And obviously there's no directives or global modifiers, but things like public execution and propaganda or broadcast, you can complete these in a matter of minutes, if that. And if you're on heroic, you can be really knocking these out really quickly. So, any ones like that, or territory control and things like that, they're really easy to knock over. And if you have reset your control points and everything is basically enemy controlled, there's going to be a lot more of these activities available. So there's a couple of zones where you can just basically run around, particularly around Lincoln Memorial or around Tidal Basin, particularly around those zones. You can just basically run around there and you can do these activities non-stop. Control points, maybe. Bear in mind it does take a few minutes to do a control point, particularly on heroic. It's kind of up to you. And once again, it's whatever you're more comfortable with. If you're more comfortable with doing those control points, then go for it. I just feel like I'm more productive running around doing open world activities like the public executions, the propaganda broadcasts, and so forth. You may be different, and that's okay. It's whatever gets you through. It's going to be a bit of a grind doing this, because you just kind of want to take advantage of this XP event, and you're going to be doing these activities non-stop. So it's whatever you're having fun doing. If you're having fun doing level 4 control points and heroic bounties and so forth, then go with that. If you want to run around doing these open world activities like the executions and the broadcast and so forth, go with that. Or just mix it up. Do something. do something of each, you're still going to get all that XP and it's still going to be really rewarding for you. So it just comes down to what you feel you're most comfortable with and what you're having the most fun with. And I guess that's the key, have fun. If it stops being fun, then log out and go and touch grass for a little while or something. And as I said, stay, if you want to do missions, that's fine as well. Do missions. I find that missions aren't as effective. Having said that, Lincoln Memorial is probably an exception because you can do Lincoln Memorial pretty quickly. If you can do Lincoln Memorial on heroic with a few directives in less than 10 minutes, then that is really good to farm. But if you can't, then no sweat. Keep at it, and you'll get there. Or just go back to open world activities. It's not a big deal. And the other thing to remember is if you are a season pass holder, to do the daily mission, as that is worth 700,000 XP or whatever, and you only have to do it on hard. So that's another easy one to farm as well. Granted, you can only do it once a day, but this accumulation of XP all adds up. So there you go. They're my tips. That's my advice. The XP event is starting very soon. I wish you the best of luck with it. I hope you go really well. Leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. And I might see you out there. But until then, that's all for now. Stay safe out there, agents. Take care. And most importantly, have fun.